the center of me. Please let me feel inner peace.
Dear audience and dear people, I have an amazing guest. And this is someone I've known for a while now. Her daughter has been my student about 3 years. And I invited her to come and talk with us. And this is Maria. I'll let Maria speak for herself about what she does a little bit and give an introduction. But after I finished working with her daughter, I still continue to have a relationship with her family and continue our mindful talks and ways of living, organizing space, all kinds of beautiful opportunities she has given to me. So I'm so honored to be here with you and that you are willing to open a conversation with us. And yeah, I'm so, so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, hello. Uh, I'm Maria, and what I do, I am a professional violinist. So I combine, work with parenting. I have one child, Anna, who's 6.5 now, and going to the first grade. So I met you 3 years ago. No, I met
Over
you
3 years
4 years ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, and basically when we were looking for schools for my daughter, I stepped in your school and I was just so enchanted, and I was like, yeah, well, all the schools have wait lists and all that. And I remember emailing and saying, like, if you ever have a spot, we would love to do it. And you had, and that was the absolutely amazing experience. And one thing that I remember from school years is that I could never ever have enough communication with you, because you were a teacher, you had many kids and you were so devoted to them and to us parents. Your parent nights were endless. The parent conversation were so thoughtful and so deep, and so you seemed like you had like all the time for us and all the attention. But it was still not enough, because it was only once in a few months, right? And I just remember just getting every information that I would get, like getting it in me like a sponge, and thinking, oh, it's just never enough. But I can't be bothering calling you like every day with all my other questions, because you had your other work. And so now that you don't teach children anymore, when I, realized after you were back from travel that you were here in the area, I was like, oh my God, maybe I can call you and we can talk a little bit. I mean, I cannot possibly be, torturing you with more of my question, because, you have your own life, and my daughter moved on to a different school. There's always questions, we are parents. There's like every day something changes. Once you feel like you got a grip of something, the child grows up changing their behavior, and you start all over again.
Okay.
And that's when Kashmira told me that she could actually that she opened her business as a mindful parenting, and I could actually officially talk to her as much as I feel as I need. I could not really believe that when you told me that. I was like, wait, what, really? And it was just hours and hours in front of me. And so of course you had to convince me. You didn't have to convince me to start working with you. We just had to figure out logistics. You came to my house, we had a walk, and then you said that you could do it over FaceTime and Skype, and we probably found the ways. And of course we could meet somewhere else, but we didn't have to actually. Turns out we spent all our sessions on FaceTime. And oh my God, well, she really got me thinking about this, because it's not just I'm asking my questions, but then like it opens the whole lot of endless questions and endless
Inquiry.
exactly, and makes me think and thoughts and have to change things. And at some point I got so mad and upset. I remember I was just so rude in my next session. I was like, it's all because of you, everything. I mean, maybe I didn't say that, but I felt this is how I felt.
You kind of did.
I did. I still did. I know I was really rude, and I was like, it's not that I was testing you.
No, not
It's
at
just
all.
I really was feeling really upset because you made me totally do something against my will, and it didn't make me. Look at her. Can she make anybody do anything? She's such a gentle person. It's just you made me think. Whatever you said made me think and try this thing. And I was really upset next time that everything went. I was mulling all over it. Like, why did I do this? Why do I do things against my will and all that? You had amazing patience to just answer my questions, just get me going, and we got through that hump, and actually I got through over my problem. So it's I have to say it was an amazing experience. And so that was a part of it, mindful parenting. But also years ago, when my daughter was still in school, we invited you over after the school was over at the summer to celebrate it was
My
something
birthday.
yes,
Yes.
it was around your birthday.
Yes.
And I remember, because when Anna was in school, of course, we were told how to organize a space, and I did my best organizing space in Montessori way. But of course, when Miss Baroni came here, when Kashmira came here, I looked at it at my place with a different eyes, and I said, I know it could have been better and stuff. And I remember you said, well, if one day you want me to help you change it, I can come, not when your daughter is here, but separately. And that was a while ago, and it kind of stuck in my head. And this one day I said, well, I remember you mentioned something about this. I know you're busy with such important things and everything, but maybe you would want to do it. And he said, yes, I actually would love to spend time with you and help you organize a space. I had no idea what we're talking about because I just had one shelf with toys, and I thought you'll just organize that shelf. Well, turned out my entire house got upside down because you came, you organized one space, you came again, you kept on organizing this one space, and then you came again, you organized another space, and then you left. And then I kept on organizing for months. For a couple months, I've been reorganizing because you just made me think. You just made me look at it with all different eyes, and you got me going. And the first couple sessions were brutal. It was so depressing. I felt like there's no way. We just happen to have a pretty large space, and the more space you have, the more clutter you can get. And I thought there's no way that we could get ever like sorted it out. And but I have to say we really did, and I keep on working as I still have things to sort out, but I'm much better at I kind of think I got a way to understand how it works.
Yes.
Only thanks to you, because no one ever worked. I could read a book on organizing.
Yes.
But like you just sort of guide me hand in hand, and gently, just by showing how you do it, and by explaining very basics how things work. That's the teaching process. So in a way, I'm very fortunate you stopped teaching kids and finally started teaching adults. I am a luckiest one. Grab you while you still had time for me.
Oh my goodness. So well said.
Thank
I
you.
couldn't have asked for more from you for the experiences that we've had. So I am so happy to be here with the parents and talking to you this way, to know how I can just plant just a little seed in your mind. And yes, we had moments of disagreement and feeling discomfort, and we stuck through that. And I think that's what comes when you actually work with someone, a coach, a therapist, a guide. You have a different view, unlike with friends and family who guide you. It's more difficult, it's more emotional. But when we work together as a coach, we come to a place, and again, yes, we go through the same highs and lows of the process, but you opening up the conversation, being open to sitting and talking with me, taking a walk with me. That's how we started. We took a long walk together, and we talked about how I can help, and you said where you might need help. And still there was uncertainty, but you go beyond that uncertainty and say, I trust you. We built that trust and say, there's something that I can trust and go forward from here. And we're still working through all of that, and we're in an amazing place. And why we do this is because to be the voice of the child, and to help parents that this is really, when that shift happens in you, it's an easier road down the road, and your parenting becomes better for yourself and for your child, and you model the behavior that the child wants to see in you. So I am so privileged, so humbled that we got the chance to speak here. Thank you again.
Thank you.
So before we finish off today, do you have any question, or one question perhaps that I could answer for you on this platform?
Yes. Basically, when you just said that we went through highs and lows. It's only I went through highs and lows.
Oh.
You were always very, very even. There's not a single time that you got upset with me, or you got showed any emotions. And actually, I think how we got over the hump is that you were flexible enough to totally understand my stubbornness about this one issue, and you actually, not once, but you are very fine to say, I understand your view on that. This is not how I see it, and this is not how it probably should be, but I see that this is important for you. So let's work with that the way it is. I'll show you how to work with that with the best outcome. And it helped, and it did. So I think my question is, we've had 12 sessions, right?
Mm-hmm.
The sessions were
Minimally, yes, we did. Yes.
Yeah. So there's not a single time you would pause after my question. Basically, after I ask a question, or I talk and I explain, and there was not a single time that you would go like, maybe I have to think about it, or you know what, just deal with that yourself. No, I'm just kidding. Of course you wouldn't say that. But how do you know the answers to every single question?
Oh my goodness.
How?
The children taught me, because I had the same struggles of highs and lows with my own self, and working with the world that I'm trying to please. And children taught me how unimportant that is in the end. Yes, in the end, how unimportant it is to please the world, but to be kind, be generous, be fully yourself, be your truth. However, it had to be sitting with a lot of lows, a lot of discomfort, a lot of tears for that matter, to come to that place of being still. So when I was working with the children, what they taught me is how they go from one moment to the next, flowing so smoothly. They will have the hardest moment of emotions, and then they have that moment, they live with it, they be with it, and they let it go. how quickly they can let it go. They don't have an agenda or holding on to anything unless we tell them, remember when that happened? So they actually take a moment to even think about it, because it's gone, it's over, it's done with, it's finished. We don't go there, or we don't live so much in the future. We have an idea of the future we want to have, but not so much attached to that future. So it's the children who taught me to be there and to give me the answers, because it's pretty simple. It's just letting it be what it is in that moment, and then reflect rather than react. So anytime that I feel the discomfort, that's when you become really still. And maybe, like I said, maybe there are tears in that. Maybe there's, yeah, gut wrenching. Yeah, even though you didn't see my emotion that way, you're going through that lows. I went through that with you privately, not in front of you. And that's exactly how I worked with children. When I have difficult times, I had to always remember that this didn't come from them. Where did it come from? I need to be still in this. And then when there were moments that I couldn't be still in that, that's when I knew it's time to step away and take a break or take breaks, and you go back to the work that you need to do. And that's why we are here. So now, so I've done, 3 decades of work with children almost. Now I hope I have 3 more decades with you.
That would
Yes.
be amazing. Like it.
Maybe.
May I still ask one more
Yes.
question though? That is regarding space organizing.
Yes.
How come that after you organize my space, my daughter's space actually, it was over 3 months. I think it was over 3 months now, and my schedule is like I could be like almost not home at all. I could just come in the evening and leave in the morning sometimes, not always, but usually what happens is after like 3 days of like that, there's a piles and piles of stuff. And how come we still have a perfect order just the way you set it up? My daughter didn't change a thing. How did it happen?
How did that happen? I think we instilled order a little bit. Once you have the order, and then you commit to cleaning up every day for 15 minutes, putting things back in place. You have changed. Maybe I see a few changes here and there because you're switching things around and all of that. However, yes, pretty much you know that you have this amazing space that now you can see and you can feel more than anything. And you saw how the child was reacting to it so beautifully. When she came home after school one day, we had turned the place upside down and made it so different.
Remember
and
how
her
I was so
eyes.
scared? Do you remember how scared I was?
Yes.
All of a sudden, I got this jittery feeling because she's 6. She's already has her opinions about everything. I was like, remember, I was like, oh my god, what
What
did
is she
do?
gonna say?
I didn't tell her we're gonna do that. She's gonna be so mad and upset. And you were laughing at me. You were literally, oh Maria, are you really nervous? Oh my god, I cannot believe this. You have no idea. It's gonna be fine.
Yes.
What happened?
And it was beautiful when she walked in and she looks at me and she comes in. Oh my goodness, thank you. That was what came out of her. How gracious is that? Nobody told her to say that. She looked at it and she glanced at it and she was mesmerized. And always, one of the things that children always, or rather parents always told me was, how is it that, when the children come to school, they know exactly where to put things? How come they're so orderly? How come they don't do it at home? And I shared this experience with a lot of people that I've had many, many years ago. A 3-year-old went home and the mother was saying, how come after an observation of the classroom, the mother went home and said, how come you do all this at school and you don't do it at home? You don't put your shoes away, you don't place things where they belong. And the 3-year-old was able to articulate and say, at school, I know where things go. A 3-year-old is able to tell you this. And the mother was just enlightened on the spot by this one awakening that came from a 3-year-old.
That totally answers my question.
Yes.
I know why my order continues being like that,
Yes.
because there's a place for everything.
She
And when
knows.
even though if I have to say, oh, there's still stuff on the table, even though she's tired and kind of feel lazy, or that doesn't like me to remind me, but she still does it because it's so easy, so accessible, and so perfect. Because you get on your knees and you do it the way that it is easy for child.
Yes.
Something I wouldn't even think. I don't know, say like what kind of shelving I'm thinking. Oh, more shelves is good, or like more drawers, or more
everything.
more everything. Yes,
More everything.
That's a whole
Yes.
new aspect, but less of everything. But so you organize it the way that is comfortable and convenient for the child to put it away, and they really enjoy it.
Yes.
I think that's exactly the answer to
Yes.
that.
And then the joy becomes everyone's,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it
Oh,
becomes
yeah.
everyone's joy.
And you
yeah.
also told me to, after I do come home, I pick for myself. Don't pick for Anna. You told me pick for yourself. Mm-hmm. Because I'm also not ideal to say the least, and because Anna would do her own job.
Yes.
So that was amazing.
Yes,
That's-
speak for yourself. Yes, I remember those conversations too. As we talked about when you spoke about how you had it as a child, and I would say something like, "Yeah, that was you, and this is Anna." Yeah,
Yes.
to constantly remind yourself of, yeah, this is a complete new, different human being making their own path, their own dreams, their own desires are coming to manifestation, and to be able to live that in freedom is what we're trying to create, and for our own selves too, because we are only one. There's only one of each of us, so it's not only for the child, it's all of us living in harmony together. So I think this should be good for us today. This is a long episode, so we could go on and on.
I
So we
know.
should do the second session
maybe.
another time.
Thank you so much
Yes.
for having me.
Oh my goodness, what an honor, what a privilege, what
Thank
beauty.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
The pleasure is
so
mine.
much, so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much.